Advaitavritavarshiniം Bhagavatiಂ Ashtadashaധ്yayinim Amba Tvamanusandadami Bhagavadgite Bhavadveshininim Namostu Devyaya Sarishaya Buddhe Ullaravindaya Tapassanetra Yena Tvaya Bharata Purna Prajvalito Jnanamaya Guradivam Mukam Karoti Vacharam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Prabhatamaham Vande Paramatmananda Madhavam Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Maruta Sumanti Diveshtarai Vedai Sangapadakramo Vanishadai Gayanti Yam Samada Jnanavastita Tattvatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam Na Vidussurasura Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha.
Verse number 8 onwards. Niyatam kuru karmatvam karmajyayoya karmanaha sharirayatra pichate na prasiddheda karmanaha Yagnarthat karmanonyatra Lokoyam karma bandhana Tadartham karma kaunteya Mukta sangas samachara Saha yajna praja sruštva Urovacha prajapatihi Anena prasavishyadvam Eshavostvishta kamadhuk Lord has been emphasizing to Arjuna that you need to act. First he says, Niyatam kuru karma. You ought to do what is your duty. By not doing karma, you will not get naishkarma. If you adopt to naishkarmya without the necessary adopted life of sannyasa, without necessary making of the mind, it will be a mithyachara. And shaririyatra artha api kuru karma. You better do. Now he gives one more reason. Being explained the meaning of yajna. We saw, though the word meaning of yajna is just offering oblation to fire addressed to some devatas. But the wider meaning of yajna is any action done in the awareness of Ishvara is yajna. And therefore, you should do yajna. Why? Saha yajna praja sruštva. Prajapati created this praja, human beings, along with yajna. Why only humans were given yajna? because we saw there is a possibility or potentiality not to do yajna. But since we enjoy the freedom, swatantra karta, we may not be contributory. We said yajna means, yajna is simply not an offering, yajna becomes the karma. That is, for Vishnu, yajna vai Vishnu. So people may not, whereas other living beings are programmed to be like that. And in the earlier class we saw the whole lifestyle of a Hindu is like an yajna. The very impregnation is a garbhadana samskara, it is yajna. When the person is born, that is yajna. And when the person dies, that also is yajna. In between all the way. Not only in between all the way, but different daily activities that we perform, that is also yajna. Eating food also is yajna. Why? All the time you learn to live in the awareness of Ishvara. Why do I live in the awareness of Ishvara? By living such I may grow. Anena prasavishyatvam. Growth in terms of maturity. Growth in terms of becoming free from the holds of likes and dislikes. Growth in terms of antakarana shuddhi. May you have that. And he equates this yajna as ishtakama dhukha. Like that, what let this yajna be what? Celestial cow that will yield anything, whatever you ask for. There is a story behind it. It seems there was a sage, Vasishta, had the cow. And in his Purvashrama, Saint Vishwamitra was a king of that region. On one of his travels, he just landed up to assist at his ashrama. And the hospitality that he could provide, king was shocked. Each one had their accommodation according to their status. And each one had a food what they liked the best. It is a wish-fulfilling cow. And at the end of it, king first inquired, how does this Sadhu Baba manages? He should be having some FCRA, foreign donation account, that is his problem. And he found that there is nothing. Then the king came to know that he has this cow. And king asked for it, he refused. It is meant for Brahmarshi, and cow will give only to Brahmarshi. This is a long story. Then king gave up the kingdom to become Brahmarshi. He was so enchanted by the cows, by that particular cow. He tried to make a deal that you give me one, I will give you thousands of cows in exchange of this one. Obviously, he was not that much sense left that he would barter one for this. But then he told him, even if we barter, it will not yield anything to you. To have this cow yield you something according to your wish, you need to be a Brahmarshi. He couldn't take it. And he used powers and all kinds of things. Finally, he became Brahmarshi. This story or a metaphor is based on the literal meaning of Brahmarshi. Brahma, Shri means one who knows Brahman. So knowledge of one who knows Brahman, he as well gains everything. That's the Vakya. As well gains everything is more, as everything is gained. Why it is said so? Because all Vishayanandas are included in Brahmananda. Because every Ananda is Brahmananda. Any joy is Sukham, because only source of Sukham is Atma or Brahman. That is He, so that includes, that's a metaphor. And that's why it is said, this cow, wish-fulfilling cow, is given to only Brahmashi. It will not yield to anyone. The point is, this apart, and true, this lifestyle may not be possible in today's modern world, because you live in an apartment, you cannot have fire, etc. Important is there should be an attitude of becoming, I may use Swami's words, contributor. Our role should not confine, our existence should not confine only in becoming receiver, learn to be contributor. Contributing to the harmony of the entire universe. It's just contributing to maintaining this harmony, totality. Whatever I need to give, whatever I need to do, that I do it. And that is one of the reasons, one more thing, in this culture there is a value to give, value for dana. And any occasion, people are called for to give. At least to give to the kith and kin or the family or the relatives. It always involves dana. Permanent giving is always there, all the time. It starts from the morning onwards. Because of anena prasayisha. May you grow with this. Why? It can be wish-fulfilling cow. It can be kamdhenu for you. Bhagavan continues further about this. See the next verse. Devan, verse number 11. Devan bhavayatanena.
Devan bhavayatanena.
Te deva bhavayantu vaha.
Te deva bhavayantu vaha.
Parasparam bhavayantaha.
Parasparam bhavayantaha.
Shreyah paramavapsyatha.
Shreyah paramavapsyatha.
Devan bhavayatanena.
Devan bhavayatanena.
Te deva bhavayantu vaha.
Te deva bhavayantu vaha.
Parasparam bhavayantaha.
Parasparam bhavayantaha.
Shreyah paramavapsyatha.
Shreyah paramavapsyatha.
He says, propitiate devas. Devan bhavayata. Bhavayata anena. Anena means with this, with yajna. May you propitiate different deities. Okay? And devaha te devaha bhavayantu vaha. May the deities propitiate you. Okay? Parasparam bhavayantaha. Propitiating one another. Shreyah param avapsitha. May you all gain absolute good. May you gain shreyas through this. You propitiate devas through yajnas. Let the devas propitiate you, and you grow in terms of, may you make sure by propitiating each other. Now please understand what is devas. Okay? Who are devas? Any aspect of a creation is looked upon as aspect of Ishvara. Because the creation is not separate from Ishvara. And you can say that is a Ishvara, or that aspect becomes the presiding deity called Devata. Either way you can look at it. So one can invoke total in a given aspect of the total, or one can invoke in any object, because that is an aspect. Since it is like, this is my little finger. So I am here as well, and I am everywhere. So I can be invoked in little finger as well. Okay. As a material cause, Ishvara is the entire creation. As an efficient cause of different aspect, the God is different devatas. This is a unique concept that Hindus have, and that is the one which has confused people a lot. Look at this. You can see the sun just as a ball of light, heat and energy. You can see that. You can see water Gangaji as simple as H2O and look at it as some inert blessings of the Lord. One force. You can say Prakriti, one part of the Prakriti. Now, this particular inert aspect is not separate from the Ishvara, since he is everywhere. Because it is a very material cause. And since he is everywhere, any given aspect is not away from him. You can invoke Ishvara in that particular given aspect. Like even with Swamiji often used to give this example very beautifully. With reference to this body, I am everywhere. Aham sarvavyapi. With body only, okay? Now to invoke me, the total, you can invoke in any part. In other words, if you want my attention, you want me, my full attention, just keep it. You want my full attention. That doesn't mean you should shake me completely, then I get full attention. You may just say, Swamiji, I am fully available. Because I am here as well. You want to acknowledge me. You want to congratulate me for something. Whole person, Swamiji, but for you this would have been happened, blah, blah, blah. You need not acknowledge the entire body. You can look into my eyes and through words only you can acknowledge. You can take the hand and say, shake hand and say, thank you very much. Express your respect or gratitude through words. Or traditional way, put a flower here, or mala here, or do sampada puja, whatever. Any part of body you invoke, you can invoke me in any part of this body. And who is invoked? The whole is invoked, because that is non-separate from me. Similarly, any aspect of the creation, you can invoke the Lord in any aspect of the creation. And the whole Lord stands invoked. Or that we do also. I need not say you can invoke the Lord in any aspect. We do also. Suppose we want to do Samudra Puja, or we want to do Ganga Puja. You just go to one ghat, one bathing place. Whatever water is there flowing, you do its puja. With an attitude that whole Gangaji is worshipped. Or if you do Samudra Puja on Juhu beach, that is only little puja, you have to go whole Samudra. No. Because everywhere it is, that particular part is non-separate from ocean. So you can invoke the total into given individual. Somewhere. You can invoke the total in any aspect of the total. So, you can see the sun as simple inert blessings, let us say blessings, what is gives heat, light and energy, etc. of the nature, by the Lord or nature. Or you can see the sun as aspect of the total and can invoke total in sun. Correct? I can look upon sun as a one aspect and invoke Ishvara. And that particular aspect, since it is non-separate from the Ishvara, if you look at sun, it becomes Devata. Okay? What is Devata? Seeing an inert phenomenon or conscious phenomenon which is non-separate from the total. As an aspect of the total, and you invoke total into sun. But sun itself per se, we call him a Devata. You know, you can see Gangaji as H2O. It's after all H2O. What's the difference? This is also H2O. Right across outside the ashram, there is also some H2O. And you can see Gangaji and you can worship Gangaji as manifestation of Ishvara. Like I can be invoked in little finger. You can call my attention by calling my name. Call my attention, hey Swamiji, or just touching or shaking, whatever. Whatever you do to a given aspect, you are invoking total. Understand? Because as a material cause, nothing is separate from the Lord, because He Himself is the material cause. Okay? So, we don't see them as inert object. I don't see sun as inert vastu. I don't see fire as inert vastu. I don't see vayu as inert vastu. You can see it's a nature. What's a big deal? But then, when you see them as Devata, you are in awareness of Ishvara. Correct? If you miss that Ishvara, which is all pervasive, then it becomes just a nature. But understanding or appreciating the Ishvara as a Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karanam, I see this as another manifestation of Ishvara. It is some special manifestation. Among all the manifestations, this is one of the manifestations. Like you can say, Shakti. All God is all Shakti. Omniscient is omnipotent. One of the aspects of the Shakti is water, where you can have hydro power. Similarly, another aspect of the Shakti is sun, where you can have solar power, or biofuel, all is Shakti. In a way as though Amshaha of the Shakti. As though total manifest in varieties of way, that particular aspect, that particular Amsha as though becomes Devata. You can explain with little modern example. When the Prime Minister is sworn in, letter is resigned, let us say. When the Prime Minister resigns, whole cabinet stands resolved. He wields all the power. He has all the powers. When he takes an oath, then he forms the cabinet. As though all the powers are as though vested in different ministers. That is the aspect of the total. They are non-separate from, they don't have separate power from the total. That's all the example is, okay? Don't say, earlier I said, you can invoke the total in aspect. So if I propitiate one minister, CM will be propitiated. No. You have to have different cover for it. But if it is to be given, you have to give them separately. That's not the part of the example, okay? Limitations of example. This is what it is, So, anyway, the power vested in a given minister is ultimately the power of the chief minister. And you can still go further. Power vested in chief minister is power of the democracy, of the people. They voted him out. Anyway, let it be aside. So, this, because their power is abhinna from the power of the CM. So also as though coal power, solar power, hydro power is abhinna, and this different aspect is Devata. Okay? The deities you can say, or you can say gods. And ultimate is Lord. Some difference you have to make, because there is no translation of Devata in English. There is no translation of Bhagavan in English. Shad Bhagaha, etc. So, this is Devata. Okay? Now, when you say Devata, none of them are outside Ishvara. Like my dream. There are many power centers, but none of them is away from you. Me, I the person. Why? Because I am Nimitta Karanam as well as Upadana Karanam. Right? So, this Sarvarupa is Jada and Chetana. Conscious and inert things that are seen in dream are not separate from me. So also the entire universe is not separate. Lord as a material cause is being a material cause, creation is not separate from him. Okay. Now, these devatas, he says, Devan Bhavayatanena. May you propitiate these devatas. Why do you propitiate devatas? What does it mean by propitiating devatas? That means you two-way. I can acknowledge my indebtedness to this devata. I can acknowledge, because I am the beneficiary of different aspects of the creation. I can acknowledge my gratitude towards them. And Devan Bhayatanena means what? And these different aspects contribute to the totality for the harmony. It's a beautiful symphony. Melody is coming out. And whatever I need to do unto them, what is my duty towards them, I do it. Then they will benefit you. It is, you can say, ecology. This is where ecology is taught in this section of Bhagavad Gita. What is ecology? You perform your duties and let propitiated system, that benefited system will brace you. This is called Parasparam Bhavayataha. You do what is to be done, and it will help you. Like in a classic example of this area, about 20 years ago, this was heavily drought-prone area. There was no water. The rainwater also was less, and underground water also was not. So much so, right behind, when you go for a walk, there are some farms. They had dug the borewell 800 feet below, no water. 300, 400 feet below it was common. Then you get some water That also will not be there in winter. In summer, when the peak season, when you need, that's a typical Gujarati shobd. Duki diya. Nobody in Gujarat can understand. Donkey duki. The borewell dried up. And duki sabd I like it. I also couldn't understand. These Gujarat fellows will not understand. Duki diya. So, what the government did, they created check dams, small dams, like they right across they have done. They built not less than 14,000 such dams, every nook and corner. Wherever there was a natural flow in the monsoon water, they put a dam, a reservoir, small reservoir. Then again, same flow, there will be 8 to 10 reservoirs. And it was public-private participation, PPP. So government funded little bit, public funded and then made it. 80-20, 60-40, like different schemes were there. Because of that, the tables say Parasparam Bhavayanta, Jal Devata. The whole area became almost water scarcity free. Because you preserved the water, that because of the reservoirs, it got sipped into the motherland and the water table came up. So much so, building this kuti, and of course the rains also came very well. As long as Modi was ruling, we had a very good rain. So much so, when I renovated this kutia, and I had to dig some foundation for my staircase, at 4 feet there was water. Just 4 feet. And the same way, just right across 50 meters, there is a bore. There was a bore which was dry 300 meters, and here 4 feet. Of course, that also was overflowing, because then I had to stop the work for almost 3 months. After the monsoon got over, we could restart the construction. Coming back to this, they will also bless you. You do what is to be done on your part, and then they will also do their job on their part. In other words, don't abuse these resources. That is the ecology that we are talking about. You see, since we have freedom to act, freedom to achieve, freedom to do, that particular freedom to act, what is ecology with reference to this freedom? That you may not abuse freedom and keep contributing. Therefore, parasparam bhavayantaha shreyah param avapsyat. May you grow. Unfortunately, today when you talk of ecology, people talk of ecology confined to flora and fauna and weather. They don't talk of anything more than that. And that too, what affects us, such as selfish perception. Ecological effects, you say, but confined only to humanity. Nothing more than that. You have to see this ecology in the total. Ecology means what? An awareness of one's own actions, one's own lifestyle. That what is an awareness? That every action or any type of my lifestyle creates ever widening circles or the ripples of circles effect in the totality. Like when you drop a huge stone in a quiet pond of water, you think water splash is here, but it is a widening circle. And that, to what degree it has these widening connections, that awareness. Even a small thing is connected to totality, that awareness. That makes an ecology. There is an order in the creation. Devatas means there is an order in the creation. There is a system. And any disturbance to a given system, a disturbance to any given order will disturb the whole. And we think, see that humanity did not see that. Therefore recently we have started talking about ecology. Any disturbance to one aspect of the whole will disturb the whole. The disturbance will not remain to a given aspect. It will disturb the whole. Exactly like this hand or a finger is non-separate from me. This being one of the aspects of my existence, my all-pervasive existence is with reference to body. You can invoke me in a given finger as well. You can pull me as Swamiji. Then I am dead. If the finger is paining, whole body is affected. If there is a pain in the toe of the foot, right foot, whole body is affected. If there is a stomach problem, the whole body is affected. If there is an eye problem, whole body is affected. If there is an ear problem, whole system is disturbed. And if there is a mind problem, other systems are also disturbed. Create that disturbances in other. That means abusing given aspect. Disturbing means what? Abusing. Abusing means what? Remaining only receiver to that given aspect will disturb the system. And that is a modern problem. Like we were just receiver from water, never returned back, never acknowledged, and therefore there was a drought. When we became contributory to the system, the water problem got solved. You see, yesterday there were a few questions regarding modern times. You know what is modern times? It is popularly called as consumerism. What is consumerism? This is a thinking. More you consume, more you become happy. Whole technology is geared to create consumables. All marketing is geared to create a sense. It is not consumable, I have to consume. It is good, but I have to have it. There is a difference. All advent commercials create a feeling that I must have it. That is it. It is consumable and I need to consume. Means what? Increase. Why it is called consumerism? Increase our consumption. To have consumption, to consume, you need to possess. To possess, it needs to be manufactured. It should be there in the market. And it is there in the market and then I possess. In between there is a buying capacity. So all the economies are geared to enhance the buying capacity of the citizen. Increase per capita income. For what? Why they want to increase per capita? Because you have more money to spend. Technology produces more. Marketing creates a sense, I should have this more. But if Tantan, what will you do? So you should have more. See the whole change. Some of the senior citizens brought up in India would know. There is a limit to my buying. And hence, it is not that they want to increase per capita income. That the sentence should be, they want to increase buying power of the citizens. They never encourage saving. You should spend, you should spend. And international levels, more they spend, it is better economy. They rate Japanese economy and Chinese as lesser good, lesser dynamic than Western, because every Friday they spend. We are conservative economy, saver economy. They want to create sense that you should spare more spending. It has a limit. Yes, it has a limit. So whole infrastructure was created. You can borrow. To borrow money was a taboo in this country. Even for necessities was a taboo. Now, borrowing is a status, credit card. All survive on that. Consume more. And this is a limit, have credit card. We give this much limit, we give this much limit. And you should have. And now all the economies in the name of becoming cashless, they don't say be on debit card. Why don't you start debit card? You spend your own money. No, credit card. This is all it is. I had really a problem a few years ago. I was stranded on Heathrow. And then I had to buy a new ticket and I was damn tired and was some useless airline was available, and then British said there is one, what they call it, premium economy class. That ticket is there and you have to pay this extra money, etc. I said, okay. So I opened my purse and gave them how much dollars. This was 5-6 years ago. London has already gone cashless. Even parking, you don't need time. And you have to have card, parking. Whole thing has gone cashless. They have withdrawn all those children currencies. They have stopped printing some of them. So I gave, they said, we don't accept. Credit card, please. I said, I don't have. We don't accept. And she had my passport. She saw the visits I have made, stamps in the passport. Such a thick one. She flipped the page and looked. Is this you? Literally, she saw my picture on the front page to verify. And she asked, you don't have a credit card, sir? I said, I don't. And they were talking among themselves. How can you travel without credit card? So much. And I told her, madam, I don't have a credit card, but I have a lot of credit. So I can travel. Couple of such experience. So far I never had anything in mind. Now I am forced to buy debit card because I don't have account. So I opened now debit card account. Some companies, Thomas and Cook gives you, pay some money. In emergency, what you do? You should have something. No money, no cash. Credit. Why? Buy. Spend. That is why, look at this, whole world is looked as something to be consumed. Bhogya. What we are taught is not bhogya, it is something pujya, to be revered. Ecological problems are based on this bottom line. In this model of economy is technically called as, there was Adam Smith. Adam Smith was there who gave this. It's Adam Smith's model. I'm sure this thinking has some basis in the theology which he believed in. The theology says God created man and created the world for his consumption. So world is looked upon as consumable, bhogya. And the another one is desert religion. Here also desert. The woman is also a commodity to be consumed.
Yeah.
Only man is the superior thing, and whole world. That means what? We have an attitude of consumer. That means what? We are abusing the resources. We have created a society of wastage. whether you need or not, keep buying. Therefore, every home has a garage sale. Just keep buying, just keep buying. Every home wardrobe is overflowing. And therefore, when the season comes, they go to Walmart and other places to dump those old clothes. And you see, India and African countries outside the city limit, those clothes are available at damn cheap prices. Why? Just waste. Anyway, the Jagat is not Bhogya. Jagat is Puj. I can see them, whole Srishti, they are contributing to the totality in a harmonious way, and the ecology with reference to human being lies in I regulate my freedom by dharma. I regulate my consumption by dharma. Then there is ecology. During this France conference, when our Prime Minister had gone there, Acharya Sabha had submitted 10 pages full our statement. They had asked for religious and with 27 pages of appendix. He mentioned that Jagat is not Bhogya, Jagat is Devatas will become happy, meaning thereby you will not disturb the harmony. You will nourish the harmony, you will nourish the system. And when you nourish the system, who will be beneficiary? You only. You are part of the system, so you will be beneficiary. When a limb of my body is healthy, who will be beneficiary? I will be beneficiary. And a limb is disturbed, the entire system is disturbed. That is what he says, Parasparam Bhavayantaha. That means doing what is to be done, my contribution to not only to my near and dear ones, the entire universe. That is why there is a statement, Vasudhaiva Kutumbaka. Whole Vasudha, whole earth is my family. That means I remain contributory to everything. And that is why we have been taught an attitude of reverence. It requires something more than what I see. It requires something more than what meets with your eyes. You see those inert thing of the nature. But when you see them non-separate from Ishvara, when you have an attitude of reverence towards them, there will not be an attitude of consumption towards them. Therefore, symbolically, we are asked to do Surya Puja daily. We take Surya and we take Arghya and offer it to them. Acknowledging that I am a recipient and expressing my willingness to contribute in whatever way. Every child in this country is given an attitude of reverence towards the entire nature. Judaism also has, by the way. Judaism teaches that, respect the nature. But then, this respect is given, this form is given, there is a spirit that it is not separate from the Ishvara. He is abhinna nimitta upadana karana. He is the eyes, and the light in the eyes also is Ishvara. We call it Adhisthana Devata. And he is an efficient cause. So, therefore we worship water, Nadi Mata. We say, what a beautiful relationship we are taught. Suraj Dada, sun is a grandfather. Chanda Mama, moon is your maternal uncle. All relating to them as a part of this family. The river is a river, Mata, cow is a Mata. Relating them as a family. And when you look upon them as family members, the sense of family membership invokes contributory attitude. It is not simple family. There is a spirit, understanding and reverential attitude. So, Eat this. Therefore, Namaste Vayo Tameva Protection. All Panchamahabhutas are worshipped. So you start the day with the worship of Mother Earth. Padasparsa Kshamasva Me. The moment you get down from the bed, put your foot on the Mother Earth, then there is a prayer. Oh Mother, forgive me. Mother Earth, there is a Ma. Then again Agni Devata, the holy and all sacred festivals, you worship Agni. You worship Jalam, you worship Vayu, you worship Akash also. Space. Parasparam bhavayantaha Shreyah Param Avamsata. They are not jada objects, they are expression of that conscious Ishvara. There's something more. You know, a typical, in medical science, there was a good movie, somebody made me see that. Munna by MVP. You know, that was though a comedy movie, but then patient, you don't deal with the patient's body, you deal with the person with human touch. That cures the person. Similarly, I can see them as inert aspects of the creation or maximum add. They contribute for the creation, but an attitude of reverence calls for certain more understanding. It is expression of Ishvara, you know. And this is parasparam bhavayantaha Shreyah Paramamsa. That being the case, when I express my gratitude, I never ever take them for granted. When you take them a part of the system, you take them for granted. When you have a sense of gratitude, you then altogether you treat them differently, you will have a human touch. Exactly, I often give this example. When you stay in a 5-star hotel for 3-4 days, you take them to be all the bearers and the cooks and everybody, part of the system, take them for granted. They will serve. Thank you, oh. But when you come to ashram, and those people who work for your shibir, there is a sense of gratitude. There is a human touch. Understand? When there is a sense of gratitude, you don't take them to be inert part of the system, take them for granted. There we take these things for granted. The system is taken for granted. So attitude of reverence creates the feeling that I don't take the nature for granted. That means I become conscious of my role and do what is to be done. That is called as parasparam bhavayantaha Shreyah Param Avamsata. As it is, I said, when the system is functioning harmoniously, everybody is benefited. System becomes healthy. Continues that. Look up further. And this continues vision further. He says, 12th verse. Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha.
Ishtan bhogan hi vo devaha.
Dasyante yajna bhavitaha.
Dasyante yajna bhavitaha.
Kairdattana pradayebhyo.
Kairdattana pradayebhyo.
Yo bhunkte stena eva saha.
Yo bhunkte stena eva saha.
We'll see this stena business tomorrow. It's a long discussion. Om Purnamada
Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.